What's up, guys? Welcome to the first episode of Talk the Plank Everything Buccos. This is going to be a Bucco talk show for Yinzers like myself, the angry Yinzer, and Yinzers all over the Pittsburgh area who can't get enough of their Buccos fill in for the day. So, as I already said, I'm Angry Yinzer, and a little bit of background on myself with the Buccos. Really, in 2023, I started going to games. 2024, Paul's rookie season, I got obsessed with the Buccos. And then last year made me a touch suicidal. But with everything we've brought in this year, I am fully back on the Bucco train and hoping for Bucktober. With me, though, is going to be Steel City or Pittsburgh, however you want to say, Iron Mike. Iron Mike is a baseball. We'll go savant here. And Iron Mike, you want to give a little bit of your background?
Yeah, absolutely. Iron Mike here. Lifelong Pirates fans. Pirates fan. I've been, diehard the way your Skeens year was probably like 2005, 2006 for me. So a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, but it's starting to get a little bit better. But yeah, I'm excited to just be pissed off as a Yinzer and maybe win 84 baseball games this year and get me a little bit close to the playoffs so I can inevitably get pissed off again. That's but yeah, lifelong fan. I've been telling Angry Yinzer over here in college to get into baseball. I was the stupidest person in the world for that idea, but now it's all paying off. So happy to be here with you.
Yep, and I am happy to have you with me too, Iron Mike. That is what I'm loving to see. So I think I was gonna start us off where we talked about earlier, but I'm actually just gonna move around here because what I've been seeing is the biggest storyline going for Bucco's Twitter in the last week would have to be Carmen Mlodzinski. So basically, if you haven't been keeping up with the story, Jared Jones came back. Carmen Mlodzinski gets bumped down to the bullpen, and there was some online discussion of if that should be Carmen, if that should have been maybe a different pitcher in the rotation. But Carmen goes to the bullpen, makes a bit of a weird, I'm going to talk to my agent kind of comment during a post-game presser, and then goes on the restricted list, which you don't really see outside of like criminals or bereavement. What do you take away from all of this with Carmen? It seemed weird to me.
Yeah, I guess the way to say it is Carmen got his feelings hurt and he made a little stinky poo poo and cried to his mom, aka anyone that's not in the Pirates organization. So you're right. So just taking it from the top, Jared Jones has been you could say an established starter. We all knew when he was coming back that he planned on being a starter in the rotation. Carmen Mlodzinski, reliever, kind of worked his way into a starting role, which I don't really think happens in another organization other than the Pirates with their weird bullpen game antics. I mean, he pitched well. Was he the worst starter on the team when he got moved to the bullpen? No. And that sucks. I mean, we've all played, I mean, you and I played high school sports. We know what it's like to have to grab the bench, but to be able to kind of work your way out of that and be a starter, he has a right to be pissed off. However, I think when it comes to the media, we should all give that blatant answer of, "Yeah, I'm going to do whatever I can do to help the team." So if I were an MLB analyst or an MLB reporter, I'd say, he has a right. But as a Yinzer, as you are an angry Yinzer, this pisses me off, man, because you got a team for the first time in all, over 10, this is the best team in over 10 years, and we're over 500 going into June, and you don't even want to be a role player for this team. So if you ask me, I think it's horseshit, and I think he should just go send him to the Rockies. But I mean, I know I just kind of gave the trial and the execution there, but overall, man, it's a hard place to be into if you're Carmen. But it's a team, man, and you started off in the bullpen, and you're going back. That's what we're doing. We're all just about winning ball games at this level. So I'll let you kind of to jump in there too before I start just monologuing too much.
All right, and on top of giving the short and the long answer, We have also had Iron Mike give our first bleep of the Faceless Burnerverse, where my name is going to be getting redacted there. So
Oh
thank God we're
shoot,
not.
my bad, brother.
Thank God we're not recording video. I don't have to cover any lips. This will just be a. Why'd it go silent there for a second? That was my government, and you guys see the way I talk on this app. We will not be doing that. Me and Iron Mike do not make enough money talking on Twitter or any money talking on Twitter. So yeah, no, I have a day job, and I'm not letting them know that. So
I didn't even notice it, but hey, we're this is we'll do it live. We'll do it
we'll
live.
do it live. This is professional right here. Hey, it's day one. We'll iron that out. But
Word up, word up.
Carmen, I'm gonna just loop back to you there. I am pissed off. When he first gave his little agency talk there, I understood why he was pissed, and I was willing to give him a day to be pissed. If I got moved for doing my job better than someone else, I would be pissed too. But you can't end up on the restricted list from that. Like, you just absolutely cannot quit on your team, even if it's for one game and Sherrington can give his answer of, oh, he wasn't ready. Sure, maybe he wasn't mentally ready. There was better ways to handle this, and it got handled very poorly all across and looks bad. And now in a season where everything is sunshine and rainbows, we're getting drama from Carmen Majinski of all people.
And if anyone really wants to see through Ben Sherrington right there, just Google what the restricted list is and why someone were to go on the restricted list, and then look up the last 5 people in the MLB to go on it. Right? It's not because you feel unfit to play. Right? This is clearly you are making some sort of stink that the front office is doing something about the day to day of your player. Right? This probably what happened is Carmen was like, "No, we're figuring this out before I step on the mound again because this isn't really what I want to be doing." Someone who's unfit to play, or I mean, have we heard of a healthy scratch? Right. So I think this is kind of getting covered up a little bit with, well, Carmen's, he's upset. Just Google the restricted list. Google how to get on it. This is not some, oh well, we were just playing it safe because that's not what happens, right?
Well, and
That's just it's BS.
that's the other thing I'm seeing here is that, I mean, if we're playing it safe, then he would have been sitting in the bullpen and a call for him would have never come in. He clearly made a stink. That's the only way the team is going to not pay you and you get no service time. Like, all of that, I'm not believing anything GMBC says, and I'm honestly not going to believe anything Carmen says. All I care about is him going out there and pitching good baseball. So if he can do that, then all can be forgiven. But we're going to have to see if he actually sticks around this clubhouse.
Yeah, it's something it's hard to see because you would love to see your guys say, "Hey, I was a starter. We got Jared Jones back. I'm ready to kick ass in the bullpen." And that'd make me feel great. Also, too, if you're Carmen, you go back to the bullpen, you have 4 or 5 good outings that are 3, 4 inning starts at a time. I think we're gonna make room for you, man. We're not just gonna let Bubba suck till August, right?
Well,
That's a whole nother conversation. But go ahead, Angry.
it's the other thing there, Iron Mike, is that he's going to get spot starts. Like, you've already proven you can be a starter. You're going to get spot starts. Like, you're young. You're not even in your arbitration years yet. And I get where that could be a little bit of manipulation from the Pirates. Well, we're going to pay a relief pitcher less than we're going to pay a starter in arbitration. When it comes down to it, if you're a starting quality pitcher, you're going to find yourself starting somewhere because someone is going to need you to start for them, whether that's the Pirates or a different organization.
If something were to come up too, I mean, if anyone else in the league thought he was worth a pint of piss as a starter, and the second they hear that, man, they're getting picked up. Someone is asking for a trade if they need it. There are
Oh, I
teams out there
lost
that
Iron
need
Mike there
starting
for a
pitching.
second.
Oh, are we there? Are we there?
We're good. We're good now. Yeah,
Okay,
we just
okay.
hit a quick. We can get back to if you're worth a pot to piss in as a starter.
Yes, yeah. So if you're worth a pot of piss to start, a team is gonna make a trade for you. These big market teams that need people, right? If someone really needed a starter and they thought he was the guy for that, he would have gotten picked up. But instead, you got your ass on the restricted list. And now, if not, I don't think a lot of guys are going to want you after that. The last thing you want is a cancer in your locker room, especially as we come into the dog days of summer. So, Carmen, let's just hope he can pitch in the bullpen and kick ass and start to think it's kick ass. But there might be, I think we're going to be talking here, Angry, in like 2 weeks about Carmen Majinski being on another team because I can't see it going up from there.
Yeah, I think in the end, that's what I'm guessing is where we're going to end up too, is with Carmen getting traded probably right around the deadline. But we've gotten to a point where we've spent as much time on Carmen as Pirates Twitter, which I'm sure everyone is sick of at this point. So let's
Let's get
move
to the
on to
good
something
stuff.
positive. And hell, let's stick with pitchers. Braxton Ashcraft looks like an ace, and maybe a second ace in this bullpen. I've got a couple stats pulled up here from Baseball Reference, obviously. I'm looking at Ashcraft 5-2 with a 2.77 ERA and 1.031 WHIP. That's beautiful. We
That's
look at
great.
Skeens 6-5, 2.89 ERA. This number, do you know what Skeens' WHIP is sitting at this year?
What are we at? Are we in the 1 3s right now?
So I thought for sure I was going to go across the board and just see Ashcraft above Skeen on everything. Uh, Skeen's whip this season is .857.
Oh my God. I guess, when he has a rough start, it's rough. But when he doesn't, he is just doing like unheard of shit on the mound. Like just striking out like 9 in a row, doing just it's phenomenal. But I hate how wrong I was on the whip. But dude's insane. Dude's insane.
Well, I would have been right there with you. I was going through Baseball Reference and I'm like, am I looking at something wrong? Like, is this actually Skeen's whip? Skeens has never had a whip over one, which is insane. Just in general, I'm just not going to take Paul for granted. His ERA is obviously a little inflated from the Mets start and the Blue Jays start. And I obviously came in this ready to say is Braxton Ashcraft the best pitcher on this team? And the more I just stare at what I'm looking like, maybe not. This whole conversation might be null and void. We have twin aces. I'm gonna go ahead. We have twin aces. I feel great.
This is a great 1-2 punch. One thing once you get into the MLB, right, and that hype of Paul Skeens first overall pick, he comes in and he kicks ass right away and wins the Cy Young, right? Not every day is going to be your best. Not every year is going to be your best. And if you look historically at some of the best pitchers in the game right now or recently retired, it's all about how you handle your longevity, right? Look at Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole is going to be a Hall of Fame pitcher, right? That guy gets torched when he goes into the playoffs every single time. Yet every year, man, I mean, when he's healthy, he kicks ass. He's 10, 12, 15 wins a season. He does great. So this we're so quick right now in Pittsburgh to get on top of things like this. Skeens is great. You can have a bad month and still be great. I'd love to see how if Paul Skeens is still kicking ass at the end of this year and into the next. He's a great pitcher. That's what great pitchers are going to do. They're going to consistently be good. There is not a big enough sample size with Skeens to make these crazy assumptions whenever he has a bad day, right? Because I mean, the Mets game, that was his worst start by far. I mean, I bet you we can Google and Nolan Ryan has given up, 10 runs in 2 innings before, right? He's been shelled in the first. It happens, man. But that kind of went a little tangent there. Sorry about that. But this 1-2 punch is great. And if Ashcraft's going to be better than Skeens for a month or two, let's do it, man, because that's more the merrier. This isn't a starting quarterback position, right? So
Well, and
Ashcraft's killing it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, that's the beautiful thing here is that if Ashcraft is better than Skeens for a month, that means that Ashcraft is pitching at Cy Young level because Skeens in his bad months is still like a Cy Young candidate pitcher. So I'm fine having two guys that look like they're all-star bound. Not we've got another guy to talk about who is I'm thinking definitely all-star bound, as well as yeah, I mean, this rotation is beautiful, and I'm willing to see Bubba through it for a bit. Hopefully, Carmen and Dodal just make great long relievers, and we can actually relax a little bit when the bullpen comes in. I'm worried about what we're going to do with Ashcraft when it comes to the restrictions on innings because we've already started to talk about it, and that is something that I hated to see. Paul's rookie year, I really don't feel like watching it happen to Braxton, but if it's what we're
It's
going to do, I guess it's what we're going to do.
it's very hard to watch an Excel spreadsheet just absolutely tear you down. I'm an old school guy when it comes to baseball, right? I'm not old school like, we should have pitchers hit and stuff like that, but I'm old school in the sense of, dude, let a guy shove. That's how you do. I mean, Paul Skeens, he got pulled out of a no hit opportunity once or twice in his first season. Just let him run high. And the next thing I wanted to ask you about too is what you thought is how would you feel about, in a way, manipulating that rotation order to get a Skeens Ashcraft real 1-2 punch? Right? I mean, because if you go into a Friday, Saturday, Sunday series and you got Skeens Ashcraft, that completely changes an MLB team's approach on how to win a game, right? Because you're not thinking, okay, well, we got Skeens today. Well, we'll hope Keller's off. I mean, if you get Skeens and Ashcraft back to back, bang, right? You're thinking, what do we got to do to get into this bullpen, right? Could you see a move, or do you think Mitch is staying in that second spot no matter what, or do you see some interest in that real 1-2 punch back to back?
I don't think anything's going to happen before probably the All-Star break, but I could see at the All-Star break. I mean, I've seen plenty of teams do it where you come out of the All-Star break and you've kind of altered your rotation a little bit. And that's something I would love to see. Skeens, then Ashcraft. And then honestly, like what I would want to do is sandwich Bubba into that middle spot to just kind of like, hey, now we're going to put two more quality pitchers after Bubba. And I get that's not like the normal way to do it, but there's something about that to me where it's like, hey, if I know in a series I'm going to get either Jones and Keller or Skeens and Ashcraft, that feels better to me than going, all right, we're going to get Jones, Keller, Bubba.
Yeah, that's at times when those three guys are not hot, that's rough for a 3 game set for the Pirates. You kind of hoping that I think Keller is streaky, and I think Jones has a lot to work out, and Bubba needs to put up or shut up soon. So, when you look at the upside of this rotation, it's holy shit. I feel like these guys should all be all stars. And then you look at the absolute, floor, right? It could be tough. So I'd love to see everything pan out for the starters, especially the way the bullpen plays here and there, or the majority of the games, I should say.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's one of those things where I feel really good on a Paul Skeen start. I feel really good on a Braxton Ashcraft start. I'm right now, Jared Jones. I don't even have an opinion. He hasn't pitched in 2 years, and I mean, he just had his first game back. I'm not willing to put anything on him yet.
Agreed.
Keller, I don't know what to feel. That's my problem. When Mitch is going to pitch, I know I'm either getting 8 innings of one-run baseball or a collapse in like a random fifth inning, like we had in the Twin series the other day, where we just watched a what was it 7-1 lead dissipate to nothing.
Yeah, that was the second or third inning, I believe. I think that was top three. Top of the third, we that's when Keller kind of blew up a little bit, or maybe it was the fourth. But you're right; those early those early innings, you don't know what to expect. But Keller, his longevity, right? He is consistent, man. Those numbers always come back around for him, whether he's hot at the beginning or cold at the end, or vice versa. And like that's what I said, the guys that can just get it done, they're staying in the league for a while, and they're going to be something in the MLB, and they're going to get some money at some point in their days.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited. Ashcraft, and there's another even like side conversation to Ashcraft and Skeens where the one thing that I've really like Ashcraft is fine pitching to contact and getting ground outs and flyouts, and Paul is pumping strikeouts by you. what worries me is when we see those. Hey, it's the fifth inning, and Skeen says 85 pitches. That worries me a bit.
It worries you because of the bullpen. That's why. I mean, if you have the guys to get it done 3, 4 innings a night out of the bullpen, you're not as worried. You're like, let's ride. That's just the feast or famine that is Pittsburgh baseball and Pittsburgh sports in general. Is that there's always some sort of downside. But hey, that's strikeouts come with pitches. But I completely agree. That does suck whenever you got a guy pitching one every
Yeah, I
five
just hate
days.
seeing shortened
And
starts
yeah,
out of our
it's
ace
tough.
where we then go to like, I mean, no offense to any of our bullpen pitchers. I was about to start dropping names. We don't even have to do that. Just going to the bullpen when I'm like, man, I really only got to watch Paul throw 5 innings. That doesn't feel right. So
Yeah, that's tough.
let's let's get away from the pitchers a little bit. And since we were on that Ashcraft Skeens are all stars, I want to talk about an all star who had one of the weirder moments I've ever seen in baseball happen during this Twin series. Brandon Lau, who from my everything I'm watching, he's one of the best hitting second basemen in baseball. He's just an absolute unit up the middle of the field for us. I was told he was going to be terrible defensively. He's been a completely average defender, in my opinion. So Lau looks like an all star to me. But outside of that all star play, which has been awesome, what's weird and what I want to talk about with Lau is what happened to him on in Saturday's game. You were there.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
got ejected on his way to first base, which do you I can't think of a time I've seen that in my few years of baseball.
Yeah, just to give everyone a rundown, I mean, just look up the clip or insert or whoever can, if you're listening, take a look at it. Brandon Lau went to he double tapped the helmet for a challenge pitch, right? He clearly did it. The umpire just didn't see it at all, which we got to hold these guys accountable. Don Kelly came out and he was complaining, rightfully so. Brandon Lau ends up popping out, and from my perspective, right, I see him pop out, and then I see Don Kelly run out onto the field. Now, if I were watching on TV, I would have saw the 2 second arm flip of you're ejected, you're out of the game. And I was sitting there and I was talking to my buddy's dad, and I said, just the way the first base coach was standing talking to everyone, I was like, I think Lau just got thrown out. And I texted you and I said, hey man, I'm at the game. Can you tell me what happened? Because I went on the MLB app and it said ball in play, Brandon Lau ejected. So I don't even know, man. Like it's getting to be petty bullshit at that point. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. But now we know that's the play. What the hell? He popped up. I think he said fuck or something,
Yeah,
and just got
he
tossed.
did definitely say fuck. I will I will say he said a naughty word, which the last time I've seen someone get ejected for saying fuck was myself from a JV football game. So I really didn't think we were doing swear word ejections in pro sports, especially with some of the stuff I have heard professional athletes say on hot mics. So, from what it looked like and what Don Kelly's explanation was later in the week, the ump was saying that there was interference from the dugout and that the dugout told Lau to challenge. Here's what I want to know: the dugout already isn't allowed to have like no the players and no one in the game is allowed to see the ABS strike zone. So it's not like they know that it was a ball. Also, there's no angle that's better than the hitter's
His
angle for whether or not he wants to challenge. Like he doesn't care what the bull or what the dugout is saying to him because he is instantly challenging the second he hears the strike call. It was a delayed strike call, and then an immediate like Don Kelly comes out to argue, Lau's arguing. The umps seem to have their feelings hurt a little bit. Lau pops out. Yes, he screams a swear word, but then he gets to first base and he's tossed. And the way I know that the first base ump knows he was wrong is that he let Don Kelly come out there and rip his ass apart for a solid minute straight after that and let Don Kelly stay in the game. He knows he shouldn't have tossed Lau. It was too late, so he didn't add a second dumb ejection on top of it.
Yeah, that's the thing you'll see. I mean, watch enough John Boy media, and I'm also a an umpire at the high school level. You'll see that, you'll kind of, especially the MLB, the umps will let you give it to them if you really do mess up, right? A big thing for me, what I tell people is when you're watching the game, is anytime there's an argument, watch what happens after. It's whenever you turn your back. Most ejections are going to happen that way. So when I'm watching a game, I see Don Kelly out there, motherfucking an umpire. I check this, what the umpire does as soon as he turns his back, because it's whenever when you have your back turned, you say, "Hey, fuck you." That's when you get tossed out. But yeah, you're right. I mean, they knew that they made a stinky poo poo, and what's going on, man? Like, you're taking out an all-star out of the game because your feelings got hurt, or there's some weird technicality. We got a rule book, man. We got a rule book. We know we know the ABS system now. We're good. What are we doing? That's just some schoolyard bullshit. I hate seeing it, but good win, good sweep, and Brandon Lau just continues to execute. It just sucks to see some teenage high school drama out there on a Saturday. It's a shame.
Hey, yeah, but you said it best. It was a good sweep, and just to add on to that sweep, a little bit of extra happiness for us. We got it done against Derek Shelton, the man who has been providing us personal hell for
Yes, sir.
3, 4 years, 4.5 seasons of MLB baseball, with Derek Shelton just making me depressed and not knowing what he's doing and managing directly off of a spreadsheet. And we see that spreadsheet management, if you tried in PNC Park as the Pirates manager or as the Twins manager, you're not going to get good results.
He loves getting swept at PNC Park, man. That's his favorite place to get swept.
Oh, he loves it. And trust me, I've watched plenty of games of Derek Shelton losing at PNC Park. It felt good to be on the right side of him, just looking there with that stupid ass look on his face. Like he doesn't understand how he possibly fucked this up. Derek, you
Yeah,
fucked it up because you're bad at your job.
yeah, Derek. By the way, I think you're at least into your 50s. Cut the 16-year-old haircut bullshit, and you don't have to perfectly trim your beard, man. You're a grown ass guy and you're a horrible manager. And quite frankly, if I see you in public, I might spit on you, man. Just saying. It's not a threat, it's a promise. I hate you. We hate you. Goodbye. Never come back. You're not welcome here. And did you know, Yinzer, that he was an assistant with Minnesota, came here, got fired. Their guy got fired. He came here, got fired, and went back there just to suck it up. So that dude, just let him fuck someone else's party up. But I love the Don, and it was nice, man. It was to get back in the swing of things, get a weekend home series, beautiful weather, just hitting the ball. It was a great weekend to just sit around and enjoy some Pirates baseball. I mean, also shout out to the Pirates, man. I mean, I go there on a Saturday, spent some money on some tickets for a buddy's bachelor party, and hell, I saw a whole lot of hits. So love it, love it, love it.
Hey, beautiful stuff. And I think the last thing we have to touch on in that Twins series, one of those hits you saw on that Saturday was Ryan O'Hearn's first at bat back at PNC Park. What'd you see there?
Dude, the guy, he's a machine. How the hell do you go on the IL? And if you go on the IL in the MLB, you're hurt. Like, it's definitely, we play through bumps and bruises. We'll play through some stiffness. Not even a single rehab start either. You're just coming back like you just simmed a series in MLB The Show. This guy, this is such a big pickup. And there was some skepticism about him in the outfield. He's been a hell of a defender and a hell of a hitter. And these are the kind of wins you see in the offseason. It's okay to spend a little bit of money, a little bit more money, and go get a Ryan O'Hearn, a Brandon Lau, rather than a fucking Tommy Pham, right? Or a Rowdy Telez. Huge win. This guy, that's machine like, Angry. That's machine like. You don't just bounce back like that. It's amazing.
No, I mean, it honestly makes no sense, Mike. The thing is, we look at, like, I was at the game where he went on the IL. I was at the Phillies game, which shoot me in the head, the Christopher Sanchez complete game shutout. But I'm at the game, and I look down, and Jared Triolo has left. After Jared Triolo had 2 terrible defensive plays in right field, he's now standing at first base. And I went, oh, did they flip-flop him and O'Hearn because Triolo just can't hang in the outfield? And I went, Wait, no, Jared Triola is still in the outfield. That's not Jared Triola. That's Nick York. What the hell? And I realized I just start looking at my phone. What's happening? I hear people around me. Where's O'Hearn? He's just gone randomly. None of us watched him get hurt, so I'm not even really sure what happened there. But yeah, he leaves. I'm thinking, great, one of our best hitters, a glue guy in our clubhouse is just going to be out. And the original reports were who knows for how
It was
long.
horrible. It was so long. They were thinking.
And then he's back within the month, and his first at bat cranks a home run. Beautiful to see. Love to see Ryan O'Hearn back in the clubhouse. Like you said, great player, great fielder, great hitter. Also, just a great guy. They've highlighted it a few times throughout the broadcast this year. The man just on his off days is like, hey, I'm going to go find local charities and help them out. So he seems like just an incredible human that I couldn't be any happier to have in Pittsburgh.
Keep the freight train moving, man. I mean, if you're gonna be that guy, and we'll be happy to have you here, man. Just being when you see that community involvement, and I know we just motherfucked him. Derek Shelton was a similar way, man. He wore a different shirt for some sort of charity in Pittsburgh before every game. If you watched his pregame conferences in his office, but yeah, dude, he loves the community. He loves playing baseball for us, and just keep it up. Just stay healthy and let's get through the summer, man. Oh, Ryan O'Hearn, just I think he signed for a couple years, so we don't have to just soak it all
First,
in like we usually
he
do.
was
So
first Pirate signed, first free agent signed to a multi-year contract in the last like 20 years or something. So, or since 2013 maybe. So, yeah, I mean, it's really nice to see Ryan O'Hearn. We give him the 2-year deal. He comes in, immediate impact guy, and one of the best bats on our team, one of the best guys on our team. Love to see it.
need it,
Just a
need it.
and just a quick little. This is we're gonna skim past a couple of things here. Also from that series, Nick Gonzalez and Jake Mangum, congrats. You have now hit home runs. Welcome to the MLB this season. I'm proud of
Love
you.
it.
Mangum, that was just a beautiful surprise. I'm loving to see his bat getting hot. He was a 300 batting average guy last year who's been kind of a disappointment. The only real disappointment out of that trade that we're going to talk about here in a second. And it's just nice to see Mangum get it going. Nick Gonzalez, he's just a professional hitter. That man gets RBIs. And when that ball went over the fence, I jumped up out of my seat, scared the shit out of everyone around me because I couldn't have been happier for Gonzo.
Yeah, when you see those guys, almost like a role player, like Nick Gonzalez is not here to hit 300 and to just be one of the best bats in the lineup. He's meant to bat eighth and get a hit 3 days a week. But when you're coming up in that way, just stepping up, that's why the team is as good as they are. Same thing with Magnum. I actually really like Magnum. I think he's a great bench player. He knows his role and he's always making something happen. And I love the walk up song too. Your Love by the Outfield. No
Oh, it
free ads,
is.
but everyone's jumping when they hear that.
Yeah, no, he definitely gets me out of my seat with that every single time. I mean, I go to my fiance and we stand up and just start singing. And I love Mangum. My little Barstool tie-ins. He is a big Barstool guy. He goes on a ton of their networks. So I really wanted him to be good when he got here. It's good to see him finding a bit of a role and actually heating up a little bit in that Twin series. Hopefully he can stay hot. The only other thing that comes out of that Twin series is Connor Griffin goes to the IL, which I'm actually fine with. I mean, if he's got that forearm tightness, you don't want your star rookie shortstop needing Tommy John at 19. So
Yeah.
I'm completely fine with checking and seeing what's wrong with him, figuring that out. What I do like is that he stepped in for a couple days before going on IL to DH. That kind of gave me and obviously he's not Shohei Ohtani, but it gave me the Shohei, hey, I can't pitch or field, so I'm going to DH for an entire season. I like that when a guy's like, hey, I'm not clear to throw, but I'll still walk out there and get you quality at bats.
Well, it's also nice too that who he's replacing at DH for that weekend. The best part of my weekend, I think, was not seeing fucking Marcelo Zuna go in there with his chubby gums or whatever. Does he have something in his mouth all the time, or is that his natural face? I don't know
Uh,
what that is, but watching his fat ass strike out 19 times in a series, it was nice to not deal with. Man, I think that's why we're so freaking happy. It's not the weather. I think it was nice out because Marcelo Zuna wasn't playing. That's my thought. That's why we had the good weather.
and I mean, he's also had his fair share of off the field issues. Bad guy, bad bat. Really don't need him around. And I mean, let O'Hearn DH. He can't. He's not cleared for the field right now. You keep Ryan O'Hearn right there, and you keep Marcelo Zuna off of my screen. That's beautiful stuff to move forward. I've got one baseball topic left for us,
Let's do it.
and then so this blew up. If you are checking into this because you started following me over the weekend, there's a good chance you started following me after having probably a not very nice discussion with me and my replies about the salary cap and floor. I put a tweet out there that said, "Funny how the only teams who want a salary who are against a salary cap are the Mets, Dodgers, and Yankees." I've been a little better informed about that since then. I'm not a bootlicker, I promise. There's Purple Drank, if you're listening to me, my Dodgers fan over there. You taught me better. Thank you for that. Have changed from wanting a salary cap to I would just like no salary cap and for some sort of consortium of billionaires similar to the Guggenheim to buy the Pirates from Bob Nutting and then buy me a bunch of MVPs like they did for the Dodgers. That would be great. But I mean, when it comes, you're definitely more of a numbers guy than me when it comes to the CBA stuff. So, what's your thoughts on all this? We're a small market team. Obviously, a floor would be something that would force Bob to spend, which would be nice for us. But what do you think on it?
Yeah, so this is something if you'd be interested in on a weeknight, Pirates off day, to go in to just read the whole thing because it really it's interesting. So the owners have came out and proposed that there is a salary cap and a salary floor, which you're right. It's going to make those big market teams come down to planet Earth a little bit, and it's going to make those small market teams have to meet a certain threshold. What I really like about this is the revenue sharing that's involved. So basically, now in this proposal, all network deals go into a shared pool. So if Sportsnet Pittsburgh is making $12 million a year or for the Pirates, and Yankee Yes Station, Yes Network makes 100, and the Dodgers make 100, that all goes into one shared pool. So what it's really going to do is it's going to drive revenue for the smaller market teams to be able to even meet that floor. I kind of think a little bit differently than you. I think a cap. I think we need a cap. I think everyone benefits from a cap, especially the guys that aren't established yet in the league. Um, but it's definitely, I'm worried in the end we're going to end up not having baseball next year because of it. But if we were in this proposal that the owners gave to the Players Association, um, it's really going to help small market teams. You're going to see more of a competitive balance because I think what the Dodgers are doing is somewhat fraudulent when it comes to this deferred money action and whatnot. But if you're a Pirates fan, you want this. You want this system to go through because you will be in the mix every 2 to 3 years rather than every 10 to 15. But that's something, I'm just kind of going, outlining it. I'd love to go into more detail at a different time, or especially when the players come back, which I believe they did or they're going to with something. But usually a lot of back and forth, good off-season talk. But yeah, I love it. I'm all for it, and especially if you're a small market team, you should love it too because this is going to save the sport. Because we are on a track right now, if you ask me in baseball, that's it's not going to last forever the way we're going.
So let me just, I came into the salary cap arguments on Twitter or X, the everything app, if you want to be an Elon bootlicker, if we want to really talk about licking the boots of billionaires. When the blue check marks start yelling at me about billionaires. It's like, hey, buddy, you have a blue check. You're paying one to get your tweets engagement. So I really don't want to hear that. But I will just outline a little bit. It does seem, obviously, if this is the owner's first proposal, that's what's going to be best for the owners. From a rev sharing perspective, I did see a proposal, like not a full outline of a proposal, but just Dodgers fans actually like genuinely having some sort of like sense where they're like, yeah, no, it's probably BS how much money we're giving everyone. So when we do that, the like proposed, it would basically be a Dodgers and Mets tax. But you, if you want to, if you're already over whatever you decide to make, not a salary cap, but luxury tax, then you have to donate, say, or not donate, but put into the pot. If you want to give Kyle Tucker $60 million, you have to put $120 million to be split between all MLB teams into a pot. Now, I like the other caveat, which this one comes directly from Purple Drank. Again, shout out my guy. If he wants to talk to Iron Mike at some point about salary cap, a Dodgers and Pirates fan debating it who are very strongly opposed to each other would be very fun for me to sit
That'd be
back and
awesome.
moderate. So, Perp, if you're listening to me, you're more than welcome to shoot me a DM if you want to talk to Iron Mike here and see if you can change his mind. What they would have to put on that, and it's basically, this would be the nutting rule, is any of that money that comes in from the luxury tax, like player payout, would have to be used for roster billing. So you wouldn't be able to pocket that revenue, which is what we're seeing. That's where we're running into problems with Bob to begin with. There is rev sharing, and like not a great rev sharing system, but there is a rev sharing system, and Bob Nutting currently takes that rev share money and puts it in his pocket. That's an issue that we need to address one way or another.
So the first part that you described, that is the soft cap. We do have that in a way place right now. There is a luxury cap to the MLB, which goes into a pool. Now, if you ask me, just write down, just plain and simple, right? The owners are not to blame right now. Bob Nutting is a sleazeball. We all know that. He is one of just a couple outliers when it comes to the 30 owners. The players, and I read a book on this, the players, they exploited a system that just became so powerful that you can't break it now. And there's a little bit of history. I could go into that later at another time. But basically, the fact that there is no salary cap and you do have like Vladimir Guerrero Jr. last year declining the biggest contract in baseball for more money, the players have created the monsters that are the owners, right? Bob Nutting can't keep up with this. Now he can keep up with 170 million a year, 160, but the players have created this monster that's created this type of super team, right? So now the competitive imbalance is so high that, if you're the Pirates, you can't even talk to Shohei. He's not talking to you, right? They're talking about Brandon Lau right now about how you should re-sign him. Brandon Lau's playing so well. If the Pirates were to consider an extension, it would be an insult because the market value for players is so high now that if you can hit 250 in a season with 25 home runs, you're getting $26 million a year. That was created by the players back in the 60s and 70s, but I don't think the owners are to blame here. The owners want what's the best for baseball because what's killing us is the fact that there's a competitive imbalance, and quite frankly, man, no one gives a shit about a lot of these games because of it. But I'd be happy to talk to have any conversation with anyone about any of this because if this changes for the better, baseball is going to be great for the next 100 years. That's what I have to say about the cap, but I'm always open to other people's opinions and whatnot.
So there is your open invitation. I want to almost specifically call out. Let's go with, like I already said, Purple Drank. I'm just going to keep bringing you up. You were actually a pretty funny guy. We had a good conversation about Shohei in the DMs. So, hey, come give your opinion. And then I've got an Aussie Yankees fan that was coming at me. uh, whose name is just Potato and then a bunch of numbers on Twitter. Love that. And yeah, I mean, he also, I mean, he's a Yankees fan. He doesn't want a cap, and he was talking about the capped sports in Australia. I'm just going to tell you right now, Potato, if you somehow find yourself listening, the second that you hit me with a cheers cunt in the replies, that did make my life. So I'm in heaven from that. I've just been thinking about that, and I think about you daily, Potato. So I want you to keep that in mind. But I mean, salary cap, we could sit here and argue forever. And
Definitely.
I would rather get people that actually want to argue with you harder than me to argue with you. So, I lied. I'm going to go into one more. We're going to call that our little weekend wrap up, the last baseball thing we have today, because it did just re click in my mind. I wanted to bring up that trade that got us Lau, Montgomery, and Mangum, because what we sent out in that trade is Mike Burrows, who will be taking the bump tonight for the Astros and currently has the worst ERA of all starting pitchers in baseball.
Oh,
That was a
sorry,
robbery.
I lost you there for a second. I received a phone call, and I don't know if I got cut out or anything like that, but I did. I got Mike Burrows is on the bump today. My bad.
All right, no, you're good. I just might. Hey, first show, couple technical difficulties, nothing that a couple Yinzers can't handle. Here's what we're seeing
Absolutely.
though. Mike Burrows is on the bump today. Mike Burrows also currently with the worst ERA out of starting pitchers in baseball was the other point that I threw out there. I think you would call that a highway robbery with our all-star second baseman, a pretty decent lefty reliever, and then a good bench guy in Mangum. And all we gave up is, I don't know, the worst starting pitcher in baseball.
Yeah, I mean, you love to see whenever you can kind of stiff someone or just win a trade, and it's not something that we're used to for sure. I think the previous one before that is B Ray was a part of the Kutch deal, and then we ended up getting Kutch back as well. So it's kind of like when you're able to double dip in that way. But you know, so I thought Sherrington was a bonehead for a while, man, but sometimes he can figure it out. This guy has some tricks put up his sleeve. He wins on a few things every once in a while, and keep it rolling, man. Just one problem with him is I think he has a hard time selling the ship on people that he was interested in, aka Henry Davis. You fucking suck. Okay, cut. Right, but that's his guy. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to see the Pirates just absolutely murder Burrows tonight. I mean, especially, I mean, hell, you want to throw like Magnum in there and just crush one to the short porch and left. Just get him out of the game quick. Show him that we're not sorry about it either.
Hey, and that is what I'm looking for tonight. I have both of us have been betting men in our lives. I don't know where you stand on it right now. I definitely haven't been wagering the way we did back in our college days. But if you are a betting man and you're looking for something tonight, I would look for Lau Homer. Just I think we'd get to rub that trade even deeper in everyone's face with a Lau Homer right off of Burrows. Just really, really make them feel that.
Run it up. That short porch and left. It's their best friend and their worst enemy. So just get it high and get it far. You don't even have to get it that far. Just get it to the
Yeah.
left and let's run it up. It'd be nice to kind of rally, just keep it hot. It's sometimes it's difficult for these players. They have a half decent homestand and then they got a day off and they're going on the road. Um, Teams that are great will keep it hot. So let's keep it hot. Let's do it.
Yeah, I do want to keep it hot. The only other looking forward thing is I will be in attendance next Wednesday. We are going to have Shohei on the bump in PNC Park, and that feels like something that when I am 90, I will very much regret if I don't go see. So I'm going to be going in and watching the best player on the planet do his thing. I've seen him hit a home run off Paul Skeens, Paul's rookie year. And I kind of just, even if we lose that game, I'll obviously be going in and screaming my head off for the Buccos. But if we lose and it's because Shohei is brilliant on the mound, I don't think that I can have a huge complaint there.
Is that official? Where'd you see that it was announced that he's pitching Wednesday? Aren't we a little bit too far ahead, or is that your own math
We're
of?
we're a little bit ahead. I was just going off of ESPN app. We do have our probable pitchers listed out the next week. We're looking at probable matchup for that game being Jared Jones, Shohei Ohtani. I don't know if you remember Jones's rookie year in LA, the show he put on against the Dodgers. But I would very much be willing to go see a Jared Jones start. Love watching that guy on the bump. He's got crazy stuff. Plus, it's Shohei. But it looks like no matter what, we should get him one of those 3 days. So once that's official, you will very much be looking for an angry Yinzer in the stands of a Pirates Dodgers game.
Yeah, I hope it's not Wednesday, honestly, because I got plans Wednesday night I can't get out of. But Tuesday and Thursday, oh boy, oh
Thir-
please.
Thir- Thursdays is Zambelli fireworks night at PNC Park as well. So if I could get Shohei and fireworks, that would be a perfect Thursday night little nightcap to end that series. But yeah, that's just looking ahead. We've got some serious competition coming up for the Buccos, and I'm just looking to see them on this road stand. We're going to Houston, a team that's scuffling. We need to beat them. Like it needs to be at least 2-1 there because we go directly to Atlanta, a team that is currently the best team in baseball.
Yeah, you gotta. We want to make sure if we're gonna have losses, let's calculate them as those losses, right? I mean, so just taking care of business when you should would go great for us, right? Because you never know what's gonna happen when you go to Atlanta, and then you don't want to come in from Atlanta with a shitty homestand there, right? So let's not stumble. Now, one thing I'm gonna go on like a minute and a half little tangent, and then I will stop being so long winded about shit tonight. So my apologies tonight, fellas, but the pirate people get very upset with the Pirates this year with, we're streaky a little bit. We'll lose four in a row, we'll win four in a row. The Pirates at the beginning of the season, Yinzer, was 84 wins. When you're an 84 win team, you're just barely better than 500. So, yeah, you're going to lose 2 out of 3 here and there. And then you are going to lose another 2 out of 3. And then you're going to bounce back and you're going to win 3 out of 4 and 2 out of 3, right? Those things are going to happen. That's what we are as a baseball team. We are going to be consistently average. So I don't get too scared when you have like the Philadelphia series. Oh my God, that was a sweep. Yeah, it was a horrible sweep that we got at home. That's a big weekend when the Phillies are in town too. That's gonna happen to us. So the key is to not, sell the ship when those things happen. Let's just bounce back from it. And that's what we've consistently done. So let's calculate some losses here if it's going to happen. Let's play 3 really good games in Houston, which, historically, Yinzer, we've played them well the past 2 years. So I actually kind of like this series. I'm scared to go to Atlanta, especially because Atlanta's just going to sell out. They're going to have 50,000 people like on their weeknight games, which is great. That's awesome. But let's just keep it rolling. That's all I can say. This early in the season, I just have to say, let's keep it rolling. Let's calculate some losses. Let's play well. We are projected to be very average. So let's just bounce back when we have to. That's my spiel.
And I'm just going to do a little bit of housekeeping there. The 2 seconds that we lost Iron Mike, I'm going to guess that he said, don't panic and don't sell the ship because we heard when we go on these little streaks, lost you for a bit and then just hear sell the ship. That could be scary for the team. No fans, we are not selling the ship. He's not selling the ship. I'm sure you picked that up from context clues, but just in case you're an idiot, I wanted to make sure we threw that out there. And that's going to wrap up baseball. I just want to hop into like 3 things with you quick. It's really 2, and then me complaining about a third thing. The first thing is going to be NFL news. I thought with where we are in the calendar, there is no way that the first non-baseball subject has a chance of being the NFL. And then as we're getting ready to set up for our first recording, we get Myles Garrett traded to the Rams, as well as A.J. Brown traded to the Patriots, all within a little 2-hour window there. I mean, wow, this league.
Scheffner had a busy day. Scheffner had a busy Tuesday, brother.
Yeah, and I mean, there's just not much else you can even say. Bon voyage, Myles Garrett. Happy to not watch you murder our tackles twice a year anymore in Pittsburgh. And I am sure that once we get to the off season for baseball here, I mean, we are both Yinzers at heart. So Steeler football will be the next thing that we find ourselves talking about. So just a little bit of, hey, Diana Rossini was right in her reporting. Her boyfriend did indeed get his wide receiver. And then you go over to Cleveland being Cleveland. Yes, they got Jared Verse, who's awesome. They got some picks, but they don't have Myles Garrett. They just extended him, and you can't keep your talent at home in Cleveland, which feels great. Fuck that city and that organization from the bottom of my heart, and fuck all of you Cleveland fans on Twitter.
Yeah, so we knew AJ Brown was going to go. Like that was kind of inevitable. Did we know that Miles Garrett was going to be gone, or is that something that shocked all of us? Because Tuesday is kind of a blur with all the reports. Like he
So
wanted out, or he previously requested a trade. What happened there?
So last, if I were, it was either last season. I want to say it was last off season is when he did his original like I've demanded a trade, and then they gave him the monster extension, which then we followed up by giving T.J. Watt $1 million more a year out of pettiness. That's something we don't even have to worry about at this moment. We're not getting angry at Steelers anywhere near this early in the year.
No
When
way.
it, but yes, he asked for a trade, stays with the team, is supposedly staying with the team. And then I heard like weird rumblings on Friday on the fan, just listening a little bit. Anyone who's familiar, 93.7 here, our local sports radio. I started to hear it's as good as a 50% chance that Myles Garrett's going to get traded. And then by what, yesterday was Monday. So yesterday, literally over the weekend, we just find out he is getting traded and he is going to the Rams, which is terrifying. Another little Pittsburgh piece of that whole puzzle is Aaron Donald posted on Instagram, not done yet, and is now like lifting. There's a chance that the Los Angeles Rams have the scariest defensive line ever because that boy from Penn Hills might be on his way back for his 35-year-old season.
That'd be crazy, man. He's been off for 2 years now, right?
Yeah, but he's Aaron Donald. I'm
Yeah, he
not
is Aaron
willing.
Donald.
Yeah, I'm not willing to believe he's not suiting up for the Rams until the season starts. And to be honest, I'm not willing to believe he's not suiting up for the Rams until the season is over because if the Rams make the playoffs, I could see him coming out of retirement. So,
I love when people do that. It sucks, great for Miles Garrett, getting out of the Browns. Unfortunately, he does have to play 17 road games now a year, which is which sucks for him, but I'm sure he's happy to be the fuck out of Cleveland and might play in a playoff game, or definitely a road playoff game. So we'll see how that goes for him. But good for him. That'd be badass if Aaron Donald came back.
and now here is what I assumed would be our first non-baseball subject. NBA
Let's hear it.
Finals tipping off, I want to say tomorrow. I'm almost 100% sure, but now I'm going to go look at the ESPN app to
No,
guarantee.
you're right. NHL's tonight, NBA's tomorrow.
Okay, so tomorrow night, NBA, we've got Knicks Spurs. I mean, I just think we could go quick preview here because obviously we're a baseball show, but we want to dip into the other sports. I'm thinking, hey, Victor Wembanyama, one terrifying thing is looking at that man's date of birth and seeing 2004. That's
It's
kind of
crazy.
sent shivers down my spine. Yeah, they're terrifying. And I think that the Spurs have everything it takes to beat the Knicks, but I think that a lot of people are counting the Knicks out, which seems dumb to me. The Knicks look dominant in the Eastern Conference. Yes, they got to avoid Boston, but I mean, they made Cleveland look silly.
Yeah, so being from Pittsburgh, I consider myself actually a Knicks fan, but I'll be honest, I didn't watch a regular season game. Very fair weather fan. When I was single, I used to watch the games, stuff like that, to do something in the winter. I got a Knicks hat, Knicks shirt, whatever, but I'm by no means a diehard. But everyone said that the Western Conference champion is the NBA champion, but I think that narrative's kind of not as strong because you don't just win that many playoff games in a row, man. If the Knicks really dominant on their way there, right? They avoided Boston, but you know, I like the Knicks, man. But Wemby, that's a guy you can get behind, dude. Just tall as shit, young, like just looks like that dude looks like he couldn't hurt a fly, but just dominates on the floor. I'm really excited for this finals for the first time in a couple of years. I think it's going to be great. Definitely will be tuning in.
Yeah, this is one that I am very excited for. I'll be keeping an eye out, and I'm sure we'll give little like end of show thoughts here as the games move on through the finals. I would, like I said, I'd honestly be happy with either of those teams. I like Brunson. I like Wimby. I like Cat. So, I mean, I like Cat. I could go through these guys' lineup and just say, hey, I like these guys. There's a
Yeah,
reason they made the finals. They're really good players who I enjoy watching.
great
But there
fan
is,
bases too, man. Great fan bases too.
oh
Those
yeah,
those those stadiums be rocking, man.
yeah, no, it'll be a great time for. I mean, the Garden. There's nothing like it. I'm excited to see finals games in the Garden, and then
Yes,
when
sir.
it comes to San Antonio, we've all seen finals games there. Any of us that are old enough to remember the Heat LeBron have watched finals games there. We, if you're me, have been very disappointed there and very happy there. So,
It's just a happier time in life when the Spurs are like in it. I don't because you're right. It's like middle school or maybe a little bit before middle school for us when the Spurs were just battling with LeBron. Just happier times, man. I love it. Let's have a good series.
yep. And the other thing I have, this isn't even a real discussion at this point, but it is just we are mentioning the NBA finals. The NHL finals, like you said, are starting tonight, and this is going to be an unpopular opinion in this town. I don't care about hockey, and if the Penguins are not like winning their first round series, I really don't care about hockey, and I can't find a reason that I should. I don't know if you have a different outlook on that.
I used to love hockey when I was a kid. My stepdad had season tickets for years. After the cup runs of 16 and 17, I started to slowly wean off of it and then really wean off. And now, I mean, I'll watch, when I'm bored, then when that season starts, I'll watch a couple of the Penguin games. And when they're competing, I'll follow them. But this is what's weird about hockey, Yinzer, is that the NBA finals and the NHL finals are like the same length, but it just feels like the NHL finals are so much longer because of how I just feel unentertained it is, how entertaining it is versus the NBA. But yeah, man, I think it's Vegas and Carolina. It sounds like Carolina's due for something good. That'll be something that I get a notification about probably on a random Tuesday night that one of those teams forced a game 6 or 7 and maybe tune in for the third period. But I'm similar to you, man. I'm not trying to offend anyone, but hockey's just not my cup of tea. And it seems like I kind of fucking hate Penguins fans in Pittsburgh, dude. Like this, I don't know if you could agree or disagree to this, but the guy in Pittsburgh that likes the Penguins the most, or his team is the Penguins and doesn't care about anything else, I fucking hate that guy. We all met him in the office, seen him. Did you catch the Penguin game last night? No, dickhead. It's April, man. I was watching the Fires, so that's my little spiel on that. Just
Yeah,
stereotypical Penguin fans, kind of annoying.
no, you're 100% right there. There is always the one guy who all he cares about is hockey, and he is going to tell you about what happened in the hockey game. He's going to tell you about whether or not Malkin's coming back. And it's, hey, man, this is great. The Penguins were a big part of my like high school, seeing Pittsburgh be a city of champions. But I don't care. And like you said, you might tune in the third period. If one of the finals games, which it just will. It happens every year. But if one of the finals games is in overtime, yeah, I'll tune in for that hockey overtime. I'll watch a golden goal, but I would watch a golden goal in literally any sport.
Exactly, exactly. One game always goes to like double OT, it feels like. But you're right. I'll get that notification. I'm like, oh, I'll convince my fiance that we have to watch a hockey game for 2 hours on a Saturday, on a Wednesday, whatever. And then
You
just
know,
go from there.
I'll throw it on the TV and mostly just look at my phone, but it'll be there, and I'll hear Ray Bork scream when someone scores a goal. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, but good luck to both of the teams. Long season. Just when all I know is when hockey is started up, that means like football is officially like in full swing. So it's kind of fun to just have that quadruple. Everything's going at the same time when you get the World Series, the NBA, the NHL, and the NFL all going at once. That's a fun time of the year. That's all I can really give hockey, honestly.
It definitely is. I did just randomly came to me. There is like one weird story that I don't know if you know, and I don't know if the people watching would know from hockey. Vegas fired their coach with like 5 games left in the season, hired Tort, who was the coach for like the Tampa Bay dynasty, and then went from a like team that looked like they were on their last legs and not going to do anything to the playoffs to making it back to the Stanley Cup Finals for a third time in their short history. So that's kind of crazy. You don't really see interims get hired from outside the organization, and you definitely don't see them just take a team on a playoff run like this.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of saw Mike Sullivan do that, but he was an internal interim. The Penguins, people don't remember, they fired Mike Johnston at the beginning of the 2015-2016 season. And then Sully went on his run, but that was internal. He was the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins coach. So you
Yeah,
don't
no,
see
it
usually
was
a guy come from the outside like that.
not just from the outside, but from an announce desk. It was very similar to like when Jeff Saturday went to coach the Colts, except for at least Jeff Saturday has a relationship with the Colts.
Wasn't Jeff Saturday the coach for like 4 real life minutes? Like what the?
Yeah,
It was short, wasn't it?
it was bad. I think he was technically the coach for a little bit. I think he just like lost, but he was the coach, so that was cool. But yeah, no,
Everyone.
that honestly, we've been sitting here chit chatting. I'm gonna get all this edited together. So it's been a great time talking to you, Iron Mike. We'll be back for more of these. And go Buccos. Let's bury Mike Burrows tonight.
Yeah. Let's definitely talk by the end of the series here in Houston. I think they got a matinee game, so let's try to get some content out for the people. Grow some following, follow. Just thanks for listening if you did, and we'll be happy to. We're gonna bullshit no matter what. So you guys can. You don't have to like. You don't have to subscribe. Whatever. But we're gonna keep it going. But It's always a pleasure, Yenzer. Let's go Bucks.
Hey, yeah, and then just how let's go Bucks. Always a pleasure as well. And just housekeeping here for the audience. However you're seeing this uploaded is what I've decided was the best way to do it. If this is a really long Twitter video, I'm sorry. My guess is it's probably going to have to be a YouTube video, and then there will be a link. Anybody who took the time to come here and listen to us bullshit about Pittsburgh sports, honestly, thank you. Like, we don't expect anyone to give a shit about what we have to say. So if one person does, that's great. And if you have any questions for me, I mean, DM me, DM the Talk the Plank account, DM Iron Mike. You can DM or like reach out to me if you know me in real life. Reach out to me if you want to hear us talk about something. If you only know me on Twitter, reach out to me on there, and we'll be happy to talk about anything. But I think that's going to do it for episode 1 of Talk the Plank, everything Buccos, and have a great night, guys.
That's how Paul's done.
Yes, sir.